Welcome to the R video tutorial on working it with text in R part 3. If you haven't watched parts 1 and 2, you might want to go back and do that. We're going to use the same data set, the mifish.csv data set, and it's located in the repository, and there's a link in the description below where you can go find that data set and read it on in. Okay, I'm going to read in the data set. It's sitting on my desktop, so when I run this bit here, you will see that our data set has species and location. So what I have is the species of the fish and the location of where it's caught. Now, what we want to do now is start learning how to play around with some of these ideas that we're going to try to chain together. So what I would like to do is be able to paste things together, and that's the key word here. I want to paste a string together. And this becomes extremely useful whenever we try to work with strings in a larger sense. So suppose that I wish to paste some words together or characters together. I can actually do that. And I'm using the word paste over and over again. What I really mean, if you're used to other programming, is concatenate. Okay, we're going to add words together here. So we can just use a simple thing like paste, and it's going to put strings together or characters together. So you can put the, comma, dog, comma, ran, comma, down, comma, the, comma, street. And I know this is pretty boring because why in the world would anybody do this, okay? There's really no point in doing this. But it does create the sentence, the dog ran down the street, okay? So this makes this a little bit fun to use in the sense that we can put different things in this to create a sentence or a character string that is more descriptive. So like in our data set, we have the fish species and the location. So you could take this and put this together. So I'm going to put paste and I'm going to put a here, blank, and then I'm going to put in my data set, mifish $1 was caught at location, and then put in mifish $1 location. And let's see what this does. This should give us a long list of strings, okay? And it does, and it says we ran out of space. But notice that it tells you, or gives us the ability to actually put this in a string. So we have a catfish was caught at location H1. A smallmouth bass was caught at location HI2. And we can put this together to create strings or sentences or things like this. And this becomes really, really useful later when we want to possibly create a directory or a path to a specific file. Okay, this will come later because we're going to use it later. But often if you're creating lots and lots of files and you're spitting them out, you're exporting them, often you'll use this sort of in a loop and rattle down through the specific ones and then pair off what you need. Okay, but this is very easy way to just paste a string together, anything you want, and you can put the variables in it, which makes it kind of fun in this case. But it becomes incredibly useful all over the place, especially for titling. All right, so this gives us the ability to paste things together or put these words together. And anytime you need to do this, all you have to do is paste. Now, there's one thing that it becomes really important later, is paste has an automatic separator, okay? And that's a space. Notice I didn't put really any spaces in here except here, but in terms of A and end of location and before the W, but it automatically puts it in there for me. So you don't need to put the space in. But if you don't want the space, keep this in mind, if you don't want the space, you need to put a specific statement on the end here, which is sep equals, and then quote, quote, okay? No space in there. And if I run this bit, you'll see what it does. Notice it says, A while I was. There was no space in here. The space is now gone. It's collapsed it down for us. And so keep that in mind that if you do this, and you don't want any spaces, like in a file name, you might not want any spaces, this is a good way to shrink it down. But this also helps us with lots of other things as well. We'll learn how to use paste in other videos in the future. All right, so well, I guess we're done here. Let's move on to the next video.